show prep, no solid plan. Scans a yarn, recants a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common Man, Common Man. Charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello. You find this funny, Mr. Bro? You're smiling. You find this humorous? No, they're not. You find this humorous, Mr. Bro? You're laughing and smiling. I'm just wondering if you do. You didn't answer my question, Mr. Bro. Do you find this humorous?
No, I find it keeping the full ear.
At least you're not smiling and laughing now. Oh, I guess you're back at it again now.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Is wearing women's underwear part of your turn-on?
Yeah, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about...
Ladies and gentlemen,
I always love that one.
I think we have a very good mix right now. I mean, the morning show does well, comparatively speaking, especially given what it has to go against. Dubers and I have done well, knock on wood, for 4 years. Common and Hartman have done okay, and Barrero is, in my estimation, the primetime player on our station. And then cultivating a couple of kids in Sludge and Lake, and, you know, we have the Vikings and maybe some things down the road, so I think we're strong right now.
Huh? Just keep battling. And just keep battling. Huh? Keep battling. Huh?
You know, sometimes when you practice, you'll set up chairs. You know, and you run through chairs just to show zones and stuff. The Viking defense looks like it's chairs.
I'm a fraud. Yes.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north.
There was a time.
This is the common man, Dan Cole.
One begins in 5, actually. 3 to 5 sounds like more than 4. 2-1. Greetings. Good afternoon, Dak, and Dak, you and yours. Tomfoolery, skullduggery, cold, dead, rigor mortis laden, worst all sports, so says former. Fired from here. Loved it when he worked here. Got a pink slip. Suddenly was the worst station in the country. We're here till 3. I'm unprepared, uninformed, and unapologetic. That's just one half of the show. 10 to B, he's on top of everything. Huh? He balances things out for us. And then, of course, it's polished, poised, and professional, big ticket, and JT, the tasteless box of mashed potatoes, who I think now has gone up for thirds at the LPGA, KPMG, PGA Championship Media Day soiree. They had a little buffet lunch for us. Make your own bowl. I like bowls. Don't you think some information I'd like to know? I'm telling you, I didn't realize how much we have to get to today. It's San Antonio Spurs, New York Knickerbockers. Tips off at 8:30. It'll be a little after that, but scheduled for an 8:30 tip. Last night, the Hurricanes even that series of 2 games apiece in what is really a splendid National Hockey League Stanley Cup Finals. Twins, they're starting to bottom out. Closed circuit to Tom Polad. We tried to tell you it ain't easy being easy, and it certainly ain't easy. And I'll tell you, the Minnesota Lynx, all they do is win. With all those topics to get to, let's go ahead and try to figure out where to start. We'll allow the Wheel of Topic to make that decision.
Wheel of
women's golf game.
What'd you shoot today?
77 Sunset Strip. I can't snap, can you? 77 Sunset Strip. Thank you.
Where'd we play?
Prestwick at Wedgwood and Woodbury.
Where'd you hit it on one?
Right up the gut.
How far from the green were you?
I still had a ways to go. I suppose I don't remember the exact number. I think it was 124.
Second shot?
I missed the green right.
Then what?
Got up and down.
Incredible.
Didn't hit a green on the front side. I was 0 for 9.
No!
And I shot 41. So that means I was 4 for 9 on my up and downs, which isn't bad. I hit 2 really nice sand. You know how Craig Warrion, master professional Craig Warrion, also a member of the Minnesota Golf Hall of Fame. He has been my co-host for Tee to Green since 1994, I believe it is. And I went to see him at the range a week ago this Friday. I've got no idea what I'm doing right now, though I'm slowly improving. And it's due in large part to Craig's tutelage. And he taught me how to hit do you know if you're going to hit a soft bunker shot, a short one, do you know where the club should go in your backswing? 12 o'clock, way up. Which to me seems the opposite. It seems like if you're going to hit a short one, you'd want to go to 3 o'clock. Longer ones, you're going to go to 3 o'clock because you're going to come through it. I hit 2 and I got up and down on one of them. I hit the bunker on number 2 and didn't get up and down. I hit it a little too hard at that tricky. Here's a tip for you that if you've never played a Prestwick, keep it below the stick when you're playing at the wick.
Yeah.
Keep it below the stick. And I was above the stick and I trickled it down there. But then on that par 3 third, I hit it in the right bunker and hit a nice little soft little bunker shot. Just exquisite is how I would describe it. And I shot even par in the back. I went 41-36. Now, a lot of it was smoke and mirrors. You know, a couple of those where I hit lower shots that just skipped up to the front of the green, and then you 2-putt from the fringe. I mean, I guess I'm apologizing for it, even though I don't need to apologize for it. I had one perfect hole, the par 5 16th. Just, is there such a word as smite?
Smite?
S-M-I-T-E? S-M-Y-T-E? Smite.
To strike or hit hard with, or as with the hand, a stick or other weapon?
Well, my other weapon was a stick. It was a golf club, and I smited it right up the middle with a, have you ever heard that word before?
No.
Smite. You can use it. Have you smited it up the middle? And then I
can't use it in that context.
Wait, hold on. I guess you're right. Yours would be when you were trying to check swing in a slow pitch softball game on a 3 home run limit. Hit a gorgeous 4-wood. Did I tell you that I've not played a fairway wood in 10 years, and it's just because I didn't think I could? It was all up here. I got $1 million swing and a 10-cent head. Do you ever let your head get in your way when you play golf? I think that's probably the vast majority
the hardest
of
part.
people.
Yeah.
And I hit just a gorgeous 4-wood down into the middle. And then I had 115 with a little breeze in my face, and that's either, depending on how well I'm swinging the ball, that's either pitching wedge or a 9. And I decided to hit a little sawed-off peel cut 9. Knocked it. I can show you. Do you want me to send you a picture of it? I took a picture of it.
That's okay.
It's like 6 inches from the cup, tap in birdie, and it's starting to come back a little bit. So, do you want more details? I can go over every shot if you want, but we could just move on.
I think I'm good.
Tell me. I got to be honest. Deuce and I had the game on. Man, I'll tell you what, Mother Nature, she's quite the gal. You work hard all day, and then all of a sudden she rings a bell and says, you've had enough. And I was dozing in and out. The goal that put the Hurricanes at 4-3 did that end be in the final?
Well, they scored an empty netter.
Oh, they did an empty netter.
Yeah,
so
5-3.
I woke up after the announcer, he scores! And it's like, oh, what happened?
Jolted.
I got jolted, and I saw it. Your thoughts on the game? Did you see it?
I did watch the game. I will say the Kevin Gorgs of the world, or the people, the hockey community that believes in 2-goal leads, the most dangerous lead in hockey. Mm-hmm. The part they don't ever talk about, though, is the times where they do come back from 2-goal lead but still lose.
Yes.
Which is what Vegas did last night. They got themselves in a 2-0 hole, got themselves in a 3-1 hole, came back and tied it, but still lost the game.
Yeah.
So there's a benefit to having a 2-goal lead.
And then the other night, they had a
4-goal lead.
They had a 4-goal lead, and that looked like it was the most dangerous lead in hockey.
Well, that might be the most dangerous lead.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, Carolina got out to a great start, scored like a minute in, had a second goal within, first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Vegas looked a little sleepy, but even though Carolina was outplaying them, Vegas just kind of picked their spots and got back into the game. But who would have thought, one of the things we talk about with Carolina is their depth is as good as anybody's.
Mm-hmm.
They might not have your Connor McDavids and your Nathan McKinnons, right? They don't have a player of that caliber.
In your Kevin McCarrs.
Your Cale McCarrs?
Cale, that's right.
But they get scoring from anyone. And man, Jordan Staal did it again last night. He's literally had a historically good Stanley Cup final. This is a guy who's their third line center. He's had a good career, but he's reaching the end of his career. It doesn't look like it. He ain't playing like it.
Do you think he's at the beginning of the end, the middle of the end, or the end of the end?
Well, the way he's playing right now, he might not be at the end of the end, but age-wise, he's been around for 17, 18 years. He won a cup with Pittsburgh, back in the Crosby-Malkin run. But, a guy who he's fantastic in the face-off circle, takes every face-off circle. He gives them a net front presence. That's how he scored his first goal last night. Screening the goalie, gets the rebound, he's just hard to handle in those areas. And then scoring on kind of an awkward, it was kind of like falling
goal.
Awkward.
Was that him? That was the greatest goal.
That was the game winner.
That's the greatest goal I've ever seen.
Yeah.
First of all, the goalie, somebody got it up front. Was that him as well? I'm all confused. I was half asleep. Somebody had a point-blank shot. Point-blank range. The goaltender made a brilliant save, and then they passed it back in front. He was falling down. I still don't even know what he did. It was remarkable.
It was very awkward.
It was very awkward.
Now he has 5 goals in the series. He scored a goal in every game, which hasn't been done in the first 4 games of a Stanley Cup final since Mike Bossy in 1983.
Islanders, right?
Yes.
See how I remember the old days? Let me ask you one last question as we go to break. You say the Hurricanes are deep. Do they have a good frontline center we could trade for? Are they that deep or at the center spot? Because we could use one here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. We'll take a break. We'll come back. A little distat lap, peek at the purple, controversial Vikings news. On the other side of the break, it's the Common Man program along with Tenneby and Common right here on the fan.
KFAN's going all out for America's 250th, dropping $250,000 in cash. Each weekday through July 3rd, you can win your share with $2,500. Listen for the keyword, enter it at KFAN.com, starting at 8 a.m. and plan your ultimate U.S. adventure.
I don't need any more help. Oh, technology always gets the best of it. Hip cricket. Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He is Tenneby. Peek at the Purple brought to you by Affordable Electric. Storms rolled through the Twin Cities metropolitan area. If you have a power outage, if you suspect that maybe something happened to your electrical banana or your electrical system for the storm last night, reach out to All Elements right now today. 612-331-VOLT, 612-331-VOLT, or you can reach them online at affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric, they are, oh boy, everything there is shockingly affordable.
We had a power outage last night.
You did?
Yeah, from about 3 to around 10 a.m.
Oh, we had a 7-hour one. Did it get a little steamy in the house?
Yeah. Trying to sleep through that.
Yeah. Deuce last night slept downstairs. Why is it that does heat rise? Heat rises. We want the smoke. So heat rises. Down in the lower level, it's like an ice box. Year round. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer, the upper level where the bedrooms are, it's like a sauna up there.
Yeah.
Why can't, does anybody have an idea how to get it to circulate right? So we can get the cold.
Well, in our house, specifically our master bedroom, like the other kids' bedrooms, which are all on the same level, all get air just fine up there. But for some reason, the master bedroom doesn't.
Yeah, the 3 bedrooms upstairs, Deuce, baby brother Peter, and Potato and Ice just doesn't. But you know what? I'm built different. So, yesterday we've been talking, it's, the quarterback controversy. 2 quarterbacks sharing reps. Yesterday, Murray.
One of them apparently upset, according to Rosen, they used to share reps.
Though I think most people just interpret it as he was just explaining that it's a complicated offense, and it's difficult when you are sharing reps with a new offense. He said, when I was in Zona, it was pretty simple. I was the starting quarterback, so I got most of the reps. But for me, it goes back to Alec Lewis wrote about it today. He's the beat writer for the Vikings for The Athletic. And again, it talks about how complicated Kevin O'Connell's offense is. A couple here. Only the players and coaches involved know why behind these outcomes. For Murray, it's at least fair to say he remains immersed in the learning process of Coach Kevin O'Connell's offensive scheme. O'Connell's offense features more volume than anything Murray has experienced. Play call length is one thing. The Vikings also demand a level of detail in their routes and footwork that takes a high degree of mental aptitude. He and the Vikings know that expecting everything to click immediately would be foolish. Kirk Cousins, who had played in offenses built on rhythm and timing, frequently talked about the steep learning curve with O'Connell's scheme. Sam Darnold arrived from Kyle Shanahan's offense in San Fran and needed time to establish a baseline of consistency. Murray said, quote, "There are times I'm out there thinking when I wouldn't be thinking usually, but it's all part of the process." Goes on to say, recent Vikings quarterback history offers an informative perspective on the challenge facing Murray. Cousins described the transition from Clint Kubiak's offense in 2021 to O'Connell's in 2022 as one of the largest adjustments of his career. The verbiage forced him to create flashcards, identifying passing windows post-snap based on the Vikings' preferred progressions required even more time. His spring and training camp in 2022 consisted of numerous befuddling throws and interceptions. Similarly, Darnold turned the ball over plenty in preseason practices, and how much he had to work, blah, blah, blah. Cousins said when Kevin O'Connell was bringing a lot of pure progression reads from L.A., it was like, whoa, I got to get back to the dagger backside after already exhausting this progression. That's a lot in my mind. I was used to already simplifying it and cutting the field in half. I had to work through that and get to where that was more natural. Why does Kevin O'Connell have to have such a complicated offense? What, can't he dumb it down? Now, I'm being serious. I mean, it's like, is it, I want to have the most complicated offense in the history of pro football, and look at how, here's what a great thinker I am. Nobody can put together an offensive scheme like I can. It seems like and I don't know. I mean, I guess we've had some success offensively, so I guess maybe his system works. But we're 0-2 in the playoffs with the system. And we were 9-8 last year and won 5 meaningless games. Of course, you have to have somebody that can execute that scheme as well, and they need to do it at a high level. I don't understand how there can be the verbiage. Can't you just do scat right X, 65, toss power trap? Why does there have to be so much verbiage? Isn't that what we talked about like the last couple of years, where like they have 30 seconds to run a play. Once the play comes over and then the play clock starts to run. It takes like 25 seconds just to announce the play. 65 toss power trap, right, blue, green, 786, 13, 14 inside lane on 3, ready, break. It's like, why does it need to be that complicated? Why? It's a hard enough sport as it is. They talk about how difficult it is to be a quarterback in the National Football League, why would you want to make
X?
Why would you want to make it harder? Can you? What do you think? I mean,
maybe it's not that hard, but the NFL, they love to act like it's really, really complicated.
Maybe that's what it is.
They try to act like we're all simpletons out here. Because I would say during KOC's short time here, 2 first-time quarterbacks in his system have done well in the first year. Kirk Cousins, his first year, did great. Sam Darnold, his first year, did great.
Yeah.
The only one who hasn't, as a pure starter, and let's face it, it was his second year. You know, it wasn't, it was his first year playing, but it was his second year in the system for J.J. McCarthy. So, like, the verbiage should not have been an issue for J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
I think he just didn't execute it well. So, I think every quarterback, when they're first jumping in, they always act like, it's really hard to pick up the playbook, blah, 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 blah.
What
they want to, they can't talk about how easy it is. Then it makes it sound like the coach and the offensive coordinator.
What at the least concerns me, and at the most troubles me, is getting back to dagger backside. I mean, that's especially after you've already exhausted the progression. How do you get back to dagger backside? It's like when I played football, both sides of the ball, fierce pass rushing, rocket to run stopping defensive lineman, precise route running, sure, pass catching tight end. And when we had dagger backside in Coon Rapids athletic lightweights, I mean, it's a hard progression to get back to. Dagger backside. What is dagger backside? Do you have any idea what that is?
No idea.
Dagger backside.
But I'll also say, like, people talk about how complicated Beeflow's defense is.
Yeah.
But no one talks about how hard it is to understand. It's like, this guy's a genius.
Do we have the most complicated offensive and defensive schemes in the National Football League? I don't know if that's good or bad. I really don't. I've always read to believe that whatever you read, you don't have to believe. I've always believed that you should try to dumb things down. I need dumbing down.
I mean, that's kind of the motto of this show.
Yeah. We're
dumbing sports down.
We're dumbing it down for you. You know what I was able to do? I lost predictive text on my phone. I figured out how to find, I was able to, don't ask me how I did it. I just started punching buttons on my phone and I got predictive. You have predictive text on your phone, right?
I don't think so. Well, I might, but I don't use it.
Oh, it's so good because, like, oftentimes I'll respond to people the exact same way. I'll go like, well, there's that, like Dark Star says. So if I type well, comma, there's that comes up right away. So I don't even have to spell out the words. Predictive text is a wonderful asset to have on your phone. It's not good in football. You do not want to have your scheme predictable, as we know. Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If you have some electrical issues because of last night's storms, reach out to them today. 612-331-VOLT or affordable-electric.com. More controversial Vikings news on the other side of the break on the program on the Fan.
Corey.
Want to chime in? What's happening with your favorite KFAN program?
Sorry.
Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Brian text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
I like titles. Well, no, I'm not talking about sports titles. We don't get many of those around here. I'm just talking about titles for, like, jobs, right? Like, for me, I think I've mentioned this before. This is years ago. Forest Lake High School was putting together their alumni directory. I never graduated, but I guess I'm still considered an alumni. And they wanted you to put your name, rank, serial number, and what you do for a living. And I just wrote social commentator. You can put anything you want in there. Brilliant. I wouldn't put serial killer in there. That could be trouble. I guess now I would be just resident gadfly. Tend to be as interim producer, bridge producer, luxury producer. Emily is director of operations here at the radio station. Pretty cool title, don't you think? I'm director of operations. That means she's running the whole shebang. And she had to send out an email the other day. Hope everyone's getting settled into the new space. Now that we have a fully functioning break room again, we need everyone's help in keeping it clean, stocked, shiny, like brand new. She actually had to write. It's like we're in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
Please take a moment after each use to clean up after yourself. Wouldn't you think, we're all adults here, right? At least age-wise, except for meat sauce. Wouldn't you think that you would just clean up after yourself immediately? I mean, who are you?
You're speaking with logic and being rational.
Here's another one. Replace the paper towel roll if you take the last one. Are there people that take the last one and just...
all the time.
Yeah. If you're going to do it, here's what you should do. Just leave one on there. Well, there's still one there. That's the trick. If you really don't feel like changing, just leave one on there.
There's a lot of laziness
Here's another
in this world.
Wipe up this. She had to actually put this in an email.
Yeah.
Wipe up any spills on the countertop table and wipe out the microwave if food splatters or your coffee explodes. She didn't write coffee explodes, but I threw that in there. Restock plates, napkins, cups, lids, coffee, and silverware if items are running low. I went to make a cup of coffee during this break. I opened up the cabinet, no coffee, all gone. Now there's a storage room right next to the break room that's stocked with coffee, Keurigs, right? But somebody apparently just thought, well, you know what? I guess I'm not going to be the one to restock it. So I did, Tenneby. I did my share. Now, I only put one box out there, the mahoganies. I like the dark roast. If you want morning roast, you're on your own. Don't leave dirty dishware, food scraps in the sink. Who would even consider doing that at a work area, a kitchen area at the workplace? Do not leave dirty dishware, food scraps in the sink. And for sanitary purposes and to ensure shared space is available for everyone, reusable lunch bags may not be stored in the break room refrigerator. Just stuff. You remember how bad the last two refrigerators were? You'd open that thing up and there'd be stuff growing on the walls because people would put something in there and I guess maybe just forget.
Never take it out.
And never take it out as growing mold. Supplies are located in the supply closet directly next to the break room. Please don't leave tasks for the next person. Your help keeps the space pleasant for everyone. Isn't that nice? You want to get the security camera and take a look and see who didn't put the coffee out, who doesn't. Because I had to clean up yesterday, too. There was coffee stains splattered all over the countertop, everywhere. So I took it upon myself, being the good coworker that I am, I cleaned that space all up. That's what I did. But we could break down the security camera and see who are these people that...
Well, I think there's a lot more than we even think.
Yeah.
You got to understand, we work at a place where if you go into the men's bathroom and you go into a stall...
Don't talk about it. What happens? Yeah.
Well, no. If there is a thing written where the toilet paper says... Please don't throw the tube of toilet paper down the...
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Right, like that should not have to be told to an adult. No, but clearly someone had done it at some point, so they had to write it down.
These people...
This is also a place where in that same room you are in, under that table, we have found gum underneath the table.
Think we didn't.
It's disgusting.
Think we didn't. Think we can't. Think we shouldn't. I think I might have been Superstar. Who sits over there? We tried to figure it out. I think that's where Meat Sauce sits, but he never chews gum, apparently. Or so he says. But anyway.
But even before I moved, somebody was leaving like candy wrappers just loitered around. They'll be 3 feet from a garbage can, and they
I've been told that is Meat Sauce.
Well, I mean, that's what would be my guess.
Yeah, that's Meat Sauce who does that.
Like, there's even people around here they'll just leave their lunchbox and their Tupperware just like lying around.
I've accidentally forgotten that before, but I always get it the next day. Sometimes you forget. It's going to happen. But I generally because I need it because I get home that night and I go, "Where's my Tupperware?" I left it at work. It's devastating. But anyway, so hopefully, closed circuit to all those at work here. Just make sure you clean up after yourself. It's really pretty simple.
You shouldn't have to be reminded, but you do have to be reminded.
I wouldn't think so.
I do like that we have more counter space now. Because in the last break room, we had like basically every kitchen appliance you could think of on top. You had 2 microwaves, you had a toaster, you had a pizza oven. There was nowhere to actually put your stuff on the counter.
I think there was a waffle iron, and a pancake maker, and a patty cake maker. Fish Wrap Factory West Side, Bobby Nightingale, we've mentioned him before. He's beat writer for the Twins. His headline says, Twins season hits new low with blowout loss to Tigers following weather delay. Taj Bradley gave up 5 runs in 4 1/3. Bullpen didn't fare any better in a 10-4 defeat at Comerica. With a 10-4 loss to the Detroit Tigers on Tuesday night, the latest defeat during a 3-game losing streak, the Twins reached a low point in their season. They're a season worst 8 games under 500. Bradley gave up 5 in 4 1/3, in which he failed to complete the third straight outing in which he failed to complete at least 5 innings. Twins relievers didn't fare any better, issuing 3 walks and hitting another batter who all came around to score runs. Twins offense tallied 10 hits, which included 4 solo homers at Comerica, but went hitless in 4 at-bats with the bases loaded while striking out 3 times. 4 at-bats with the bases loaded, they went hitless. The season is slipping away from the Twins, who have dropped 10 of their last 13. Derek Shelton told reporters in Detroit, quote, "We have not played consistent baseball," which is an understatement. That's stating the obvious, is
they
it
are
not?
consistently bad.
Yeah. I would think that, if you'll remember before the season started, your odds makers in Vegas do projected over and unders for all sports, right? For football, it's, is the over under 9.5 or 8.5 or 8 or 9 or whatever. And I don't know, they probably do it in hockey and the NBA, same thing. How many games will a team win? And the Twins, I don't remember what that number was. It was like low 70s, low to mid 70s, which is, I thought that was actually being kind to the Twins, right? After you have the fire sale that they did, and then when it was announced that who's our star pitcher that is missing the whole year? Pop Lopez, right?
Yeah.
He's out for the entire year. I thought, well, they had the fire sale last year. I thought if they could get to 70 wins, that'd be quite an accomplishment. Really, I'm not. And if you remember Tom Pohlad, there are so many Pohlads. There's Rob, Chip, and Ernie, the 3 sons of Carl and Louise Pohlad. Then they also have kids, and I think their kids have kids. And there's just there's a lot of people involved in the Pohlad family. And Joe Pohlad had been running the team for, was it 2 or 3 years? Joe was the one that stepped forward. He wanted to run the team. And if you remember Tennessee, he was replaced. Tom Pohlad took over. And Tom's his older brother. And I've mentioned this on a couple of occasions that, if you remember, Tom came right out and said, yeah, Joe wanted to run the team. He says him taking over the team, that put a little bit of, there was an uncomfortableness in their relationship for a while. So Tom was never interested in running the club, but somebody had to do it. If you remember, they said they were going to sell the team, then they decided not to sell the team. And I think the reason they decided, we're told the reason they decided not to sell the team was because they've got some limiteds that were able to provide enough money to work down their debt. And I remember Tom was beside himself. Over under, let's say it was 73. I remember what, 73? Are you kidding? Well, I expect us to contend this year. And I think now Tom's getting a rude awakening to Major League Baseball, the Minnesota Twins, and the way we baseball. This is why Vegas had that number the way it is. It's easy to be optimistic, and it happens here, particularly with, it seems, all the sports, it's probably every market. As the season approaches, there's a lot of ducky and bunny pieces on the local teams. If this thing happens, if this falls into place and this happens, and if the moon's in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, we could have a really good season. I mean, there's no reason we can't qualify for postseason play, maybe even make a run and heavens to Murgatroyd, maybe win a world championship. And so I'm sure that's what the things that Tom's hearing from inside the organization. We got a great, don't listen to the outside noises, Tom. We got a pretty good team. We got a good farm system. We got some good young arms that we acquired. We got Royce Lewis. We got Byron Buxton. We got some other young kids. We've got Brooks Lee. We've got the Clemens kid. And I'm forgetting some of the other names of the young players.
Larnick.
Yeah, Larnick. The guys that they have high hopes for, right? And so then you kind of get blinded by the light, and the next thing you know, you think your team's going to be much better than it is. And now I'd like to see what Tom has to say now. We've not heard from him that I can recall recently.
It's been a little quiet recently,
and I don't blame him. He's probably frustrated.
He probably was also too accessible for a while.
Yeah, maybe that was it too.
We've been screaming for ownership for all our teams, but specifically the Twins and the GM to be more accessible, but he almost kind of went the other way.
Yeah.
Right.
And but I think if you remember, he had let's face it, he had a lot of they were a public relations disaster, particularly when it all started when Joe said we got to right size the payroll, and after finally not only qualifying for the playoffs but winning a playoff game, breaking that 0-for-18 streak and winning a series, not just a playoff game but a series. It's well documented. There was a buzz in town. Hey, maybe we've got a team now again in baseball that can keep our interest not just in April and May, but through July, August, September, maybe even October. Playoff baseball. And then all of a sudden they slashed the payroll and this and that, and the team kind of fell apart. And so there were those. I mean, they are probably, this ownership group and just this franchise is much maligned, probably more than any other one that, Wolves, Lynx, Wild, Vikings, right? I think they're the one. And so he had a lot of damage control. And I think that's probably one reason why he was so accessible and wanted, and he admitted so. He admitted that they made mistakes, that they didn't run the franchise the way it should be run if you want to win games and keep fans and sell tickets, and they were going to change all that. And they had a couple of promising moments to start the year, right? They had a couple of nice little stretches. And because the American League in general, and specifically the Central, was so weak, the Twins were hovering around 500, give or take a game or two, and they were still in the thick of things. Remember, they were reporting breathlessly, the Pull That Pocket Protectors, back in May. That was like, when right now we'd be a wild card team. We'd be being a wild card team in May doesn't mean anything. I mean, was it last year or 2 years ago when we had a division lead? Was that 2 years ago when we had the division lead? And then we went like 12-37 or whatever it was to end the season. And it was 2 years ago. And 3 of the 5 teams in the AL Central qualified for postseason play, and we weren't one of them, and we were in first place, I think, maybe even into September. We were in first place, and we just went in the tank. And the Tigers, the Royals, and the Guardians, they all qualified for postseason play. And we didn't. So, and that was, we were in first place. We weren't just a wild card 2 years ago. We were in first place, and the rug got pulled out from under us. So because you have, the standings show, well, the playoffs started today on May 13th. We're a wild card team and the number 1 wild card team at that. That doesn't mean anything. Especially, it would mean something if the record was really good. If you were 7 games over 500 and go, we're the number 1 wild card right now. And, that means that 7 games over 500, we're humming right along. And then you're not even thinking wild card. At that point, you're thinking about division championship. So, and, now Lewis, since he's come back, we watched a bit of it last time. We were clicking back and forth between Canes and Knights and Bengals lookalikes. And Royce Lewis was having over at first base. He got handcuffed on a sharp one hopper. Remember he talked about how different the first baseman's glove looked. It looked like he was wearing a catcher's mitt the way he tried to feel that. It just didn't go well. And then you just saw what we just related there, Ted. I mean, they had the bases loaded. Was that 3 times they had the bases loaded? Is that what the story said? 3 times the Twins had the bases, or was it 4 times? I think it was 3 times they had the bases loaded. Give me a second here. I've got the story right here. Let's see. The blowout loss. Twins had the hold on. Go ahead, play the music again. Yeah, here it is. Twins offense tallied 10 hits, which included 4 solo homers, but went hitless in 4 at-bats with the bases loaded while striking out 3 times. So 4 at-bats, they had the bases loaded, and they struck out 3 times. And now they've dropped 10 of the last 13 games. And what you and I discussed, and, I would say we're both kind of casuals when it comes to baseball. I mean, I understand the game. I probably understand baseball, the nuances of it more than strategies in baseball than any other sport, which isn't saying
not that complex.
But it's not that complex. Yeah. Advance the runner, sacrifice bunt, hit and run, cut off man, all those things, right?
Launch angle, exit velocity.
Exactly. Nibble at the corners, try to foul off a lot of pitches and wait for the pitch that you want. Get a pitcher deep into the count for as many batters as you can and get the ace out of the game. We all understand. Velo. Bob Velo he was the host of some This Old House or something like that. And you and I help those because it's a great diversion in the summer. Because as much as you and I like the National Football League, I got to admit, when I'm out at training camp and it's you, me, and Rosie, my mind's wandering. I'm sorry, watching guys, in shells, smacking each other. It's just like, I just want the real games to start. So you hope your baseball team is pretty good. And it looked like early in the year, hey, maybe we're going to surprise some people here. Maybe Tom Pollard was spot on. I don't think so, as it's spiraling out of control right now. And it looks like we're headed for a last place finish. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but I'm not real hopeful. Let's pause. We'll come back. We'll do a little 5-3-4 at the top of the hour. Brian Oak and Rock Talk at 1:15. Rosie at 2. You got a tease, Tenna?
Should we call him Victor or Scott Free?
Ooh.
The Common Man.
Is there anybody